Hello, John.
Hello, Oliver.
And today we're going to talk about the RTE and the BBC. They both had blasphemous things going on there at Christmas time. The BBC had the angel Gabriel supernaturally impregnating Mary, and RTE had God depicted as a rapist. Very serious.
Very serious. Well, you see, an organisation that's fit to do that is not fit for purpose. A lot of commentators in the media, other than the secular media, have called for RTE to be defunded from this licence fee. And there was representations could be made to some Quango government department up to the 8th of January, which I got some word about. But various people now have called for that, including a barrister that writes in the Irish Times, a very able barrister called Maria Sheen. She's going to get rid of her television, and she's not going to pay any licence fee to this crowd because they don't represent her views and haven't done for years. Quite the reverse. And likewise, there are some other people, priests and others, that are not going to pay it and will go to jail if needs be, because they get apparently up to nearly 200 million on the licence fee every year, and they're not using this money in a fit way to represent the views of what is supposed to be about 80% of the country being Catholic and Christian. So what is the purpose? And the apology that they issued, by the way, the RTE, was so watery that it's nearly an insult, not a proper apology at all. And then they were keeping this item up in their podcast and just putting a kind of a little warning that some people might find it as if like that a few isolated Christians might object to it. The kind of that kind of, but then because it become a bit more widespread than they were trying to maintain, as if it was a minority of head cases that was objecting to it. And then they took it down then from their podcast.
5,000 people complained.
But then their business was watery. Their apology was so watery that I wouldn't call it an apology. Don't forget that a few years ago, which we don't hear much about now, they tried to maintain that a priest that was a parish priest then in some part of the West, Galway or somewhere like that, had been a missionary in Africa and bringing the faith to people that hadn't got the faith, which many Irish priests did, and missioners down the years, and brought the faith to that continent. But they made out then with RTE, with the vast amount of money that they have sent once to Africa, that this priest fathered a child. It turned out to be false, but fortunately he had a good solicitor. And so the whole thing was false, and they had to make compensation to that priest. But the thing is that this is what they do to denigrate the Catholic faith, and then make out that it's whatever it is. That it's only some people insulted, or that, like the minority, like as if there's a minority of Christians in the country, when they have spent their time trying to attack the Catholic Church and the Christian faith, along with the government, with their policies of what they have introduced into the country. So, objecting to this government who uses RTE for their own purposes.
But I think it shows as well, John, that RTE is dead as an organisation. It shows that when you have to use those kind of things to get viewers, when you have to be blasphemous, when you have to make jokes about rape to get viewers, I think an organisation has died when you're at that level.
Yeah, but when you even start to say viewers now, fortunately, I don't look at that television station or listen to the radio. The only part of that organisation I listen to was the Lyric FM. And really, I often have to sort of turn it off because they come on far too often with their own ads, and they're perpetually looking for the licence fee from the government of Ireland and talking about the government of Ireland. So all I can say is that they haven't used the licence fee in such a way as to be representing the views of Catholics and Christians in this country in a respectful way. There's been no balance in any of the referendums that took place. Quite the reverse, all one-sided in favour of the secular agenda, which is the opposite to the Christian agenda.
I thought, like, in religion aside, I thought there would be more of an outcry because to make a mockery of rape is very serious. And what I'm wondering is where were you had a lot of people, like in the referendums, my body, my choice, Me Too, and all this that was going on.
Yeah.
Where are all those people that were supposed to be the voice for women? They seem to be very, very silent on the issue of rape.
Of course, because if they were to sort of object to us on those grounds, without the grounds of the attack on such a time at Christmas on the Catholic faith, it is so dreadful. It's such a dreadful assault that an apology is not enough, really. I think myself, if I had nothing to do with it, to be prosecuted for some kind of hatred.
Yeah.
You can't do things like that and call it humour or satire, whatever they want to call it. There's boundaries which one should never pass, and they have passed these boundaries umpteen times. You couldn't possibly listen to them or look at their television or their news. It's all, as far as I'm concerned, an agenda-driven news item, and quite frankly, I just don't pass any remark on it. And also, I am very reluctant to read the newspapers, but I buy the Sunday paper as a rule just to see what they're up to. And they're not too far behind RTE on their attack on the Catholic faith. They now are making out that all the nuns and people that looked after abandoned children and abandoned mothers, thousands of them, giving them shelter and food, and in some cases employment. But are they getting thanks for what they did? No. They're making out that so many children died and this, that and the other, when children were dying from diphtheria and TB and all sorts of diseases, malnutrition in tenements in Dublin and all the rest of it. When I was growing up, it were a terrible looking sight to see the children, and I remember children going to school in their bare feet. So to sort of be lectured by the look of these Sunday papers, this Sunday national paper that they have, I won't even name it, but it's full of this attack on nuns that provided a humane service for all these poor people that was abandoned by society, and making out that nobody said nothing about it, like as if somehow or other they were abusing all these people when the reverse is true. They gave them shelter and a home, and when nobody else did.
It's bizarre.
And also,
they
gave us education when nobody else was fit to do it. And small thanks to God for it. They also started the hospitals for those that didn't have hospitals. They were responsible for that. But once this anti-Christian and secular government put money into it, then they were obliged now to sort of provide services that's against everything that they stand for. I won't even say what it is, but hospitals now have to provide services that were never set up to provide. They were set up to provide health and life to people, not the opposite.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you very much, Oliver.
Thank you.